tell you all right now, a lot of students, when they see questions like this, they will start to panic attack because it's very, very long, right? Wow, one passage, then one diagram, then another passage, then one diagram. Calm down, relax first, okay? If your parents watching this, teaching your child, right, tell them to calm down. And how to calm down, usually what I'll do for my own student, right, is that I'll take a piece of paper, I'll go and cover this one first. I say don't read, nothing to read, okay? Read the first part first, understand the first part, then move on to the second portion. Do not just read everything and then have a panic attack and then don't know how to do. Okay? Do not harm your own state of mind before you even attempt the question. You're definitely going to get it wrong. Okay? So relax, chill. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cover this up. Now, slowly, they say that two wheels shown below with centers A and B. Simple, they are only 230 cm apart. Okay? Diameter of the big wheel is 70 diameter. So, that's why I always tell you all, do not just rush into a question, try to get as much information as possible. If the diameter of the big wheel is 70, can we find the radius? Can, right? Okay, so remember, do not just freak out because you see a long question. Cut them apart. Any big problem can be challenged if you make them smaller. So diameter is 70, therefore the radius, as we all know, radius is half of diameter, right? So this will be 35. Okay, get all the info first. Next, they say that the ratio of the radius of the small wheel to the radius of the big wheel is 2:5. You see, why do we go through ratio in the beginning? Because they always go and throw new topics into questions like this. So what is this? This is actually a combination, hybrid question. Okay, but doesn't matter what. So if the ratio is 2:5, this one is the small one, is to big one, is 2:5. We have the radius of the big one already, right? So we take the radius of the big one, which is 35, divided by 5, then multiply by 2. And this will give us 14. So which means that the radius of the small one, right, will be 14. Okay, so I'm just going to put here, this one is 7 cm. Okay, which means that the diameter is going to be 14. See, you have the radius of the small one and the radius of the big one. Then you have the diameter of the small one and the diameter of the big one. See, a lot of information already. Which means that this one, don't care already. You don't need to care about this, right? So relax, act as if this one doesn't matter because you already input inside the information that we have. Okay, so chill. Now moving on to the next part. They said that both wheels are rolled in opposite direction until they are 2694 cm apart. Until they are like this. Okay? So they said that the two wheels need to make the same number of revolution. How many revolution does each wheel make? Assuming that each wheel must make a complete revolution. This will be not very difficult, okay? So relax, it's not very difficult. First, we have to find out the distance moved first. The distance moved from here to become here, okay? So we just find what's the distance moved. That will already be 1 mark, okay? So we just take 2694 minus 2230. So this will be distance moved, okay? So throw that inside a calculator, 2694 minus 230 will be 2464, which means that the distance moved by two wheels together must be this, and they must make the same complete revolution. This is already 1 mark, okay? So congratulations, you already gotten 1 mark. Now let's find the circumference of each circle, because the revolution, right, will depend on the circumference. Let's find the circumference. Okay, so remember I told you this is a shorthand for circumference. The circumference of big circle. So if you can remember, what I taught you is pi times d. Okay, so they say take pi to be 22/7. So good. 22/7 multiply, what's the diameter of the big one? So we figure out it's 70, right? So 70. Okay, so divide by 7 become 1, divide by 7 become 10. So it become 220 cm. Let's find the circumference of the small circle. So circumference of small circle, again we are using the same formula, which is pi times d. The formula will not change. So pi is 22/7, what's the diameter? Diameter will be 14 because we calculated here. Okay, so it will be 14. Okay, so same thing, divide by 7 become 1, divide by 7 become 2, so this one become 44 cm. Since they have to make the same number of revolution, which means that I can combine these two circumference together. Okay, I add them up together, and then I take this one divided by the combination. So you take 220 plus 44, that will give us 264 cm. So how many 264 cm does it take for them to travel 2464. So we just take 2464 divide by 264. Okay, so 2464 divided by 264, that will give us 9.33 revolution. Okay, let's see. For them to travel this much over here, how many revolution does each wheel have to make? For them to travel all the way until here, you have already taken 2694 minus 230. Okay, I've already detected there's something wrong already. Because they're asking for a complete revolution, but I got 9.33. So this is obviously something wrong because it is not a whole number. So I actually went back to go and check where could my mistakes possibly be. So I went to check back and I realized, hey, you know what? I made a mistake over here. Because this is actually the ratio of the radius, right? I took 35 radius of the big one divided by 5 multiplied by 2. This one should actually be the radius, but I put it as 7 instead. So I made a mistake over here, which means that this should not be 7, this should actually be 14, which means that the diameter over here should not be 14, it should be 28. Okay, so I made a mistake over here, quickly go and rectify. So how do I know that I make my mistakes over here? Because I realized that, hey, you know what, my revolution is not a whole number, it's actually 9.33. So something must be wrong somewhere. So I went back to go and check, hey wait, my formula here is perfectly fine, this one makes sense, this one makes sense, and then I go and check back, is there something wrong with my ratio, my radius and diameter? Then I realized, hey, you know what, I made a mistake over here. So because my radius is different, my radius, I made a mistake. Instead of 14, I wrote 7 instead. Now, can I go and check back and go and check my circumference of small circle? So it will not be this anymore. It will not be 22 over 7 multiplied by 14. Instead, it will be 22 over 7 multiplied by 28 instead. So let's cancel this portion, and then I'm going to write 22 over 7 multiplied by 28. So this one cancel, become 1, cancel, become 4. So the radius will actually be 88. So would it still be 220 plus 44? No, it will be 220 plus 28. So I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to write 220 plus 88. And therefore this will give me 308 cm. So let's figure it out. If I take 2464, which is the distance that the circles must both move, divided by this, where I get a whole number. So I cancel this out again, I write 2464 divided by 308. 2464 divided by 308. Great, that will give me 8 complete revolution. See? So from here I know, oh, okay, the revolution is now complete because they said that how many revolution does each wheel make, assuming that each wheel must make a complete revolution. So I got 8 over here. So sometimes when you make a mistakes, right, if you are lucky, the question will remind you because they're asking for a complete revolution. If you are not lucky and you do not catch it right, then that will actually be quite silly. Okay? So from here, thank God there's a guiding post, so I went to check back. So next time when you're doing your examination paper, right, try to look out for the guiding post like this. Because the guiding post is going to ensure that it's going to help you to figure out whether you get the correct answer or not. Okay, so do not have to worry, don't panic so much when you see a long question. The more you panic, right, the less likely you're going to get the correct answer. Okay, done.